On this week's show,
we talk about Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding. Buy one pizza, get one free. And if you're 30 minutes late, get a free baby!
Have you ever seen a bloke trying to get something out of a toaster using a metal knife? Fucking moron, right? Well, that's kind of how I feel about Disney right now. What a bunch of fucking morons.
now picture if you will, 4 men, 1 room, lights are off. What could it be?
Gay night.
Gaming night! It's
Gay night.
gaming night!
Gay night.
Everyone loves a gaming night.
Gay night.
Yeah, we had a gaming night.
Gay night. Stay tuned.
No, that's not how you do it. It's stay tuned.
Okay. Stay tuned.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, gamers, geezers, geeks, delivery drivers, UPS people, people who work at Amazon distribution services, people who use streaming services, people who've been kicked out of Star Wars, people who haven't been kicked out of Star Wars that should get kicked out of Star Wars. We just want fucking confirmation that they've been kicked out of Star Wars. More people who like playing games late at night while drinking. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. And before I start, just want to put a bit of housekeeping in place, yeah? Last week, no, sorry, not last week, the week before, a guy called, I refer to as Commander Baptista, told us about our podcast not working. And I said thank you at the end of the podcast. And then I realised what I've been doing with his name is I've been filling all the gaps. So he's not really Commander Baptista, he's CMDR Bapster. I'm hoping his name is Baptista and not Bapster, because if it is, sorry, Commander Bapster. And I'm going to be checking out your Elite Dangerous bits and maybe leaving a few comments here and there. Because I need to learn how to land the fucking ship. And on that note, I'm joined by my 2 fabulous, sexy, well-endowed co-hosts.
Where?
Nigel and Keith. Say hello, Nigel and Keith.
Where?
Hello, Nigel and Keith.
I love it every so often. If I compliment you guys, it really fucking throws you lot
Fucks me
off.
completely.
Seriously though, I saw Keith when you said well endowed. Keith grabbed his breasticles.
Oh dear. Thanks, Nigel.
Yeah,
That's what. Well, the podcast people couldn't see it, so you know.
Okay, so on this week's show, we will be talking about the latest game from Hideo Kojima, Death Stranding. We'll be talking about the kicking of... not kicking. Wait, is kicking? I think it is kicking of the Game of Thrones people from the Star Wars trilogy. We'll be talking about Disney Plus, Apple Plus, and me and Nigel are going to go over what we did last night. Don't worry, we kept our clothes on.
On this occasion,
On this occasion.
and we invited others.
Yes, it was a veritable orgy. Okay, so Death Stranding. Death Stranding came out. It's come out. It's weird because it's kind of come out to mixed reviews, and I don't know what people were thinking when they got it because I knew what I saw and it looked like what I've got.
I didn't even know what Kojima was thinking when he made the game.
Kojima.
I've no idea.
Yeah, it's funny because it's been labelled as a walking simulator, and I can attest to this not being true. If we look at, we'll take Everyone's Gone to the Rapture as a walking simulator.
Yeah,
and we compare it to Death Stranding. Death Stranding is a UPS delivery driver who's being attacked by a dog simulator more than it is a walking simulator.
mutant dog.
It's not based around conflict as much. It's more about kind of solving terrain puzzles, I would say, is a polite way of saying it, with a shitload of cut sequences. Would that be right, Nigel?
Yeah, I think. Well, we played it a little bit. Gareth's got the game, and we thought we'd give it a shot this morning, and he kindly let me play because, well, it's his game and he's going to have all the time in the world to play it. And I'm not going to buy it until I know what the hell the game is about. And at the moment, let's be frank, nobody really knows what the game's about until you delve into it. And so I think we played, what was it, an hour and a half?
Hour 40, I'd say. No, it was hour 45 because you were late home.
Yes, I would. Yeah, it didn't matter. And the thing was, I think we managed to play maybe 40 minutes actual controlling the bloke doing stuff.
Yeah.
It was about 40 minutes of control. The rest of it was cut sequences. Now, it is... I was speaking to Gareth earlier. It was very heavily like his previous games in Metal Gear, because I never played those, and there's quite a few cut sequences and stuff. And Gareth regaled me of a tale one time when he thought he was at the end of the game, and he thought, I'll go to bed in a minute. I'm almost at the end of the game. I'll just watch this one cut sequence, and then that'll be it. How long was a cut sequence?
I think it was over an hour and a half.
One
think it
cut
was
sequence.
over an hour and a half. It was
So-
a very long cut sequence.
Yeah. So,
But hang on,
it does
hang on.
give,
a
it
second.
does give you. I was going to say, these cut sequences, they're not. They don't seem paddy. They seem like they're giving you information about what is actually going on in the world and what people are dealing with, in terms of what fucking these horror things are, and then they tell you about the rain as well, and a tiny little snippet over dooms, and there seems to be different category of people with dooms, which is the ability thing that your player
it's the
Sam's
ability
got.
to sense BTs and time, and adjust to timefall and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was also sort of essentially resurrection, which is what we
they call it reclamation or something along those lines. don't they?
reclamation.
Is it reclamation?
I think it might have been
Repatriation, something along those
repatriation,
lines.
something like repatriation. But it was interesting when you got to play, and you were surprised by it because you were going, "What? It's a Kojima game. You're not going to be able to play the game for maybe half an hour. So sit down, get tight, and watch a cutscene." And we started watching the cutscene and went, "I've got a feeling we're going to play this." And he goes, "Nope." It's like, "Oh, look, I'm controlling." And it was actually quite seamless, wasn't it? From cutscene through into playing, a bit like Uncharted, where the graphics slowly merge into the gameplay graphics from the CGI. And this one, the CGI looked like the gameplay graphics.
Yeah,
So
it's all
good,
it's all
very
in-game stuff. All of the back of the thing they call the Decima engine.
It was very good, wasn't it? It was graphically, it looks great.
It does.
And we were discussing the way he moves around the terrain. If the rocks are a little bit slippery, you're going to struggle with grip, and so you will stumble and fucking you will, and as he's going down a hill, you could see he's fucking losing his balance a little bit if he was going too quick. So you've got to control that. Yeah, all right, it's around the walking and stuff, but it feels right. The control feels right. Steadying yourself as you go down hills or going up a hill, and I had, you've got a maximum capacity that you can carry 120 kilograms.
120, I thought you were carrying 120 kilograms at one point.
You thought I was carrying 120, but it wasn't. It was the maximum. And every time you top it up with something, it will tell you how much you've currently got out of your maximum amount. And I tried taking a corner, not fast, but normal walking speed with 75 kilos on my back, which is more than I weigh. And he started fucking stumbling over. As I was turning left, he started stumbling over right, and I'm thinking, actually, that would happen. That would happen. And
what I found amusing was we had to cross a river. Let me tell the story because it's embarrassing, and I want to embarrass myself. We had to cross this river. Yes, the whole game is about traversing the landscape and figuring out how you're going to get from A to B. So we spotted the settlement because Nigel's gone wandering off into the weeds to pick up missing cases, because that's how Nigel likes to do it. He's a completionist when it kind of comes to these things. So we've wandered off into the weeds. We can see the settlement on the other side of the river, and we've got like a concrete area with like some bars on it. And I'm looking across, and like, oh, what we can do is, if you go across the concrete bit, there's like a little gap there. You can wander down the little gap and go across the river. And Nigel turns around and goes, "Why don't we use the stairs?" Turns around, there's a flight of stairs behind us. I'm like,
just right next
we
to
could
us.
use the stairs.
Or we could just walk down these.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
And so we get to the other side of the river, and I said, "Oh look, there's the next bit that we need to pick up." And I've pinged the terrain and stuff, and I've gone, Gareth, shall I go up this route here, straight up here, round and up that way? And he goes, "How about using the stairs to the left?" Oh yes, that might be a bit easier. So it was the same. So we only played an hour and a half, 40 minutes of it, and that bit was interesting. In between the walking between bits, stuff was happening with Sam, the carrier, the porter, whatever. Yes. And it was interesting in a sense of you getting a bit of an idea of how scared these people are of the BTs that are in another dimension, and how you only see the imprints of the things, and you get a slight inkling. Also in these cut sequences, we were wondering what the fuck the baby's for. Yeah. And so they sort of ease you into that early in the game.
Still haven't worked out what the baby's for. Yeah,
no.
I think it's got something. It's to help you. I think it's to help you see the BTs, because they said that he was a level 2 Dooms, or whatever it was, when he was having that chat with the lady in the cave.
Yeah.
And he says, I can sense them. The thing is, it's weird, because every time someone senses them, they start crying.
Yeah, it's like
it's just like really
they
odd.
mention a word, I can't remember what, cryatic or something. Something's in the air, I think, and it reacts with the tear ducts. And they start not streaming, but they start tearing up a little bit and coming down their face. And that's when you sort of know something's nearby or just happened, sort of thing. If you know what I mean. So it's weird. I'm sure they'll elaborate a little bit on that as well.
Because there was something interesting when they had the dead body in it, because there was a dead body that they had, and it goes, the guy committed suicide. We froze him, but we've got to get him to the incinerator system before he voids, before he goes to void out, and you're transporting him, and the car crashes, and the BTs attack you, and there's a bit where you're like you're going, if he shoots him, he'll attract the BTs like that.
Yeah.
Because there's one guy trapped. Sorry, let me explain it. There's one guy trapped under a car because there's been a car accident. There's another guy standing up, and you as Sam watching this whole thing play out. There's this guy standing up, looking at the one trapped on the car, points a gun at him like to shoot him, and Hugo goes, "Oh, he's gonna." What do you call it? He can't shoot him because he'll attract.
I said, "You can't shoot him. You'll attract them."
Yeah.
And he's sitting there going, but the thing is, at the time, because he's trapped under the car, and the rain is hitting him, he's rain.
Aging.
Is aging rain. I can't remember what they call it. Time rain or rain
Timefall.
Timefall. And so when rain hits a part of your skin, that part of your skin will start to age rapidly. And I mean rapidly.
Yeah.
And so they everyone finds shelter, or you've got proper gear to keep yourself covered and whatnot. And so it starts raining during the accident, and as he's trapped, it starts pissing down with rain, and he's got nothing to cover him, and you can see him rapidly aging, and he's screaming. And they've crashed because of the BTs. And he's sitting there going, fuck. Yeah. And then black shit starts coming around the body as he's lying underneath the car, and the guy can't get him out. And the little light thing is going mental, going flashing, because you know shit's nearby. And the guy pulls out his gun and points it at the guy's head, and you're going, if you shoot him, you're dead too, because they sense from sound, and they tell you that right at the start when he's hiding and he's covering his mouth, and so they can't hear him breathe and stuff like that, if you see what I mean. So not giving anything away there, but yeah, and that whole thing.
No, so I want to turn around to, because you said about the thing with him shooting the guy.
Yeah.
And the guy gets dragged off, and he then shoots him.
Yeah.
He then gets a fucking attack by the BTs, because it's like kind of he was trying to be, and then he drops his gun and starts trying to stab himself to death as he's getting dragged away.
He tried to shoot himself.
Yeah.
he tried to shoot himself, and as he pulls the trigger, he gets grabbed, and so he misses. And he misses,
terrible.
and then he drops the gun, and he's fucking screaming. So, it's horrible, isn't it? And he pulls out a knife, like you say, and starts stabbing himself in the chest, and you're going, "Fuck me!" If that is better than whatever these things take you to, then what is the thing that they're taking you to? They people seem to sort of disappear, don't they? Don't know where.
It's odd. Yeah.
So that's right at the start and the first hour and a bit. So it's interesting. I don't. You're going to play it through. Way before I even get to see any more of it. But this time next week, I'll have the new Jedi game because I've pre-ordered that.
I think I'm going to do the cheeky and get EA access and get it on EA access so I don't have to pay for it.
Well, you can,
so free sample for like a week or something to see if I can complete it within a week. Sounds quite hard, the new Jedi game. They've described it as quite a difficult one.
It does.
Keith, have you seen anything in regards to Death Stranding?
Yes. It's a delivery game that people are saying. I've seen mixed reviews about it. A lot of people saying you spend a lot of time filling up your backpack, so to speak, and that's a lot of people complaining about that. But I seem to remember a lot of people complaining about Metal Gear Solid when that first came out as well. And a lot of people ended up loving that game, me included.
I've never played it. I not my sort of game. 'Cause it's all stealthy, isn't it?
Yeah,
stealthy.
Yes, it is all stealthy.
I can't play that sort of game.
It's stealth and cutscenes, and that's not for everyone. I think the best way of describing is I used an analogy to describe Crackdown, and I described Crackdown as a cheese sandwich. If it was a game, it would be a cheese sandwich. I think I'd describe this as sushi, as in some people like sushi, a lot of people don't like sushi. So if you like sushi, you're going to be okay with it. And people who like burgers can still like burgers and sushi. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you think of a burger as a first-person shooter, so yeah, it's. I'm looking forward to finding out what the fuck is going on.
As I said to Nigel, go. Say what you said to me about
Nigel, I don't think it's going to be one of those games you go back to replay though. I really do. I think it's a one-off one because it's the whole thing about going through it, experiencing it, finding out the nature of the mystery, hopefully getting some kind of resolution, and then moving on with the game and whatnot.
I've heard a lot of things about it, but I'm reserving judgment because I knew you boys would get it, and
I haven't bought it.
I know you haven't bought it yet, but resistance is futile, Mike.
Well, we'll see how long it takes Gareth to complete it, and then borrow it.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a second. You know what? When you finish with Jedi, I'll swap you.
Yeah.
Not permanent, but so I can play that and you can play that.
Sounds like a plan.
And we'll do that. I still haven't finished the Outer Worlds.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's what I didn't get to see when I was over yours. Didn't get to see Outer Worlds. Oh well, there's always no time.
We'll talk about that later.
So
Keith,
I wouldn't listen to all the obviously negative reviews are negative because they don't like that sort of game. I was intrigued. I hadn't ruled it out completely. It had sounded boring because you're literally walking from place to place. However, the way you get from place to place is probably the interesting part. A lot of people do like to just fast travel, don't they? They love it. They can't be arsed with going from one to one. They just want to pick something up, deliver it to wherever they need to go, and do it as quick as possible. This isn't an MMO RPG. So, in the sort of games, the sort of quest you get in MMOs would be, oh, go get 5 of these, deliver it to this person, or, oh, here, take this parcel. It needs to go to Marjorie in this city. And you'd quick time that, wouldn't you? But this is a bit different. Yeah. I think there's a little bit more depth to it. We haven't seen out in the wild, apart from through a cut sequence, a BT. And he did say
True.
in the one that the mission that we just picked up before I left, they did say about going to the incinerator with this person on your back, and there is BTs en route. So I think it's going to introduce you to how to avoid BTs in real time at that point.
Yeah, because you've also got the baby now, so you can hopefully see them.
Oh no,
that baby's fucking weird.
The baby, he said, the doctor said, that the baby was faulty because it's been used, and then they were just going to get rid of it. And he was like, "Oh, but we don't know what the babies are all about yet. They're useful in some fashion."
It's. I'll be honest with you. The best way of describing it is: imagine if J.J. Abrams was a video game maker, and with his mystery box shit, actually had shit that paid off. Bit weird and convoluted. It actually had some kind of payoff, and he knew about it at the start, rather than making shit up as he went along. That's probably the best way of describing Hideo Kojima. I think that because everything, like if you play the Metal Gear games, everything kind of paid off in the Metal Gear games. I think the only thing that didn't was one from the last one, the Phantom Pain, where they cut a level where the kids stole the bloody Metal Gear, but there was supposed to be a level in there, but because he fucked off, they never got around to completing it. So
hang on.
Anyway,
in Metal Gear, there's actually something called Metal Gear.
Yes.
It's a giant robot, a bipedal tank.
Oh, I just thought it was the name of the game. I've never played it, so I just figured it was the name of the game.
You should try Phantom Menace. You might like Phantom Pain. Fucking Phantom Menace. Do you know what? That film looks so much better now.
Yeah.
Minus the Gungans.
Yeah.
I can look past the slightly racist Trade Federation with their kind of Japanese Midway. Is it Midway? Yeah, Midway.
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor plot style thing. So, okay. So let's move on to Star Wars, because I started talking about it. We might as well find out what the fuck's going wrong in the world of Star Wars. We've got apparently, was it DB Weiss and I can't fucking, who's the other guy?
The Game of Thrones peeps.
Dumb and Dumber.
I need their names. We can't just call them Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, we can. That's what everybody calls them because they are dumb.
Weiss and
I don't know what they are. Dumber and Dumber.
What were they called? What were they? Showrunners?
Yeah, the showrunners.
Fucking
DB Weiss was anyway. Apparently, they said they quit Star Wars.
David Benioff and DB Weiss.
Thank you, David Benioff. That's the one I was
just for because you know.
Thank you very much. So, David Benioff and DB Weiss said that they quit Star Wars, and naturally, like a jilted girlfriend, Lucasfilm said, "No, we fired them." But here comes the funny thing: is I think they were going out of their way. I think they saw the writing on the wall, and they went out of their way not to have anything to do with them, and went to Netflix instead, knowing that Disney would be forced to fire them because they're running a rival streaming service for Disney Plus, and they're getting a bit funny with it.
I would agree with that.
That's the rumor. Because it's just I'll be honest with you, I don't even think Kathleen Kennedy could manage a bag of crisps at the moment. She could fuck up making a cup of coffee. You have to be a very specific type of moron to do that. And it's weird because I've given up on Star Wars, but I hate to think that someone is running a company worth like $4 to $7 billion and just making such a horrible fucking mess of it. And they've got budgets of hundreds of millions and they're just really, really poor at it. It really makes me go, oh, please, for the love of fucking God.
Yeah.
Well, so Keith, what did you hear in regards to this?
Well, they've signed this huge. They've signed this like huge deal with Netflix, which is reportedly worth like $300 million or something ridiculous like that. God knows why Netflix would sign them after the utter travesty that was
Season 8.
season 8 of Game of Thrones, but apparently they did, so we have to accept that. I think it's bullshit, but there we go. And they're saying that they left to deal with that. I don't buy it because I think Disney are cleaning shop. And I think the only reason Catherine Kennedy hasn't yet been fired is because they're still all about the whamming, and removing a woman in such a highly powerful position in current climate Hollywood is probably a bad idea. But they've cut the legs out from under her because they've said they're focusing on TV at the moment, and she has very little to do with the TV shows. So, and Bob Iger this week said the movies are going on hiatus. Now, they did announce these 3 movies starting in 2022, I think it is. But they are the ones that they are saying have been cancelled. So, and they are using the words cancelled. So, I mean, Game of Thrones is in such a dire state that the prequel from Fox didn't get past the pilot stage. They've ordered another prequel series.
Did you hear why I didn't get past the pilot stage?
It was shit. No,
they the expression they used was it's too woke and it won't sell.
Yeah.
It sounds like maybe a few execs here and there are wising up to this, because this is the weird thing with this whole kind of SJW woke politics nonsense. Yeah, is if I replace woke or SJW with conservative Christian, yeah, and I turned around and said this show has got some conservative Christian messages in it, yeah, it would put you off, wouldn't it?
Yep.
You'd sit there and think, oh, I'm going to get some God-bothering stuff thrashed down my throat, yeah.
Whether
and
you
I'm
like it or
hoping
not.
that they now pick up on that. Sorry?
It's whether you like it or not, yeah.
Yeah, and most people don't want that. A majority of people don't want that. They just want to be entertained. They don't want to preach that. They don't want to be told that they're bad people. They just want to be entertained. They want for an hour, for half an hour to an hour of their time to be soaked in, where they can forget the world, their shitty boss, the problems that are going on, and just fucking enjoy themselves, just for a bit of escapism, because that's what people watch TV for. And with all this politics, especially with the cancellation of is it the Lord of the Rings one? The Game of Thrones one. Sorry, not Lord of the Rings. The Game of Thrones one. I think that hopefully, fingers crossed, that they wise up and figure out this shit does not make money. As we talked about Terminator Dark Fate, the only one that goes against the grain is Captain Marvel. Everyone that's done this, Ghostbusters and alike, have fallen flat on their faces. No one's interested. No one wants to be told, as I said, wants to be told that they're bad and this, that, and the other. Nobody wants to watch a Christian conservative movie, and nobody wants to watch an SJW woke movie either. They are cut from the same cloth, and they get the same fucking reaction. And for God's sake, kill Star Trek Discovery while you're at it. I don't know why that popped into my head. I was just thinking of horrible politics.
Because it's also shit.
It's like, it's like kind of, what was it? I don't know if it was you or no. Who was I talking to? But they were talking I was talking to about Star Trek Discovery, and they had the interview with all the people, and they turned around and they asked the guy who played the Doctor in Star Trek Discovery. Oh, because it had all the other Doctors from, like, we had Robert Picardo and Gates McFadden and Alexander Siddig, and they had them all sitting around. So what did your Star Trek bring? What was new? Yeah, and they asked that Doctor in terms of goes diversity, and it's like kind of, yeah, it's like saying Christianity, it's like saying belief in Jesus. People just look at it and roll their eyes and go, "Oh fuck, not this shit." That's how we really need to look at it now. We need to make sure that that's how people want to look at it too. Because you can do it, because you can have Christian movies and whatnot, and you can have woke movies, but we don't want that shit.
No.
Normies don't. Normies don't. Sorry.
Hollywood seems to be absolutely obsessed with this at the moment, and they are putting in absolutely everything. Everything has to be about gender or race politics. The Watchmen, it's all about race and gender. I mean, they've gone with a strong black female lead, not just, content with it being a female lead. They've made her black as well.
Is she a lesbian?
No, she is married to a...
Are you sure she's not lesbian?
No, she is. But she was married to a horrible white man, but white man bad. So she left white man and married a black man who, is amazing and understands her and isn't, at all kind of... what's the word? Emasculated by her. He embraces her femininity, that kind of bullshit.
He's been emasculated by her, you mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. But that's not what they're going for. And you get this in The Watchmen, so it makes The Watchmen what could have been an interesting... Unwatchable. Yeah, it does. It could have been an interesting series, but all it is it has an idea about being woke, and then it tries to bend the story around that rather than create a story. It seems to be Hollywood is obsessed with this. I mean, this is the same with this fucking Apple TV Plus bullshit. Everything is about women. There's nothing. I mean, you watch that and you think, where the fuck are the men? I mean, it's how critically been panned. Every series on that has been panned by the critics, and for once, I mostly agree. The morning show, this incredibly expensive thing that's meant to have cost like $300 million to make, is boring. It's just dull. It's all about Me Too campaign. It's about a news guy that supposedly it started off. You're thinking, hang on, are they having a go at the woke generation? Because the guy got fired for basically having an affair with other women in there. He didn't rape them. He didn't impose himself on there. And you think, well, is this subtly having a go at the Me Too campaign? And then the fourth episode just blows that out the water by interviewing one of the victims. And you're sitting there going, but you had a choice and you fucked him. You had a choice. But, apparently that's not a choice now, because apparently men just use their fucking brainwaves. It's Me Too gone too far, which is what it did the minute, that it went too far almost within the third week, because we were running that thing every week. And so you've got the morning show and it's just dull. It's boring. Nothing really happens in it. You've got C, which I can get past the first episode. It's kind of like trying to be Game of Thrones, but it is just not clever. And then the one that really interests me from the first trailer was For All Mankind, which is a retelling or a alternative look at the moon landings, i.e. what would happen if Russia beat NASA to the moon in the 60s. And the first couple of episodes are quite interesting. Nixon, it somehow implies that Watergate didn't happen, so Nixon remains in power. And it looks around that. But then Russia, out of nowhere, land the first woman on the moon, because it started out building up about like a military build-up on the moon, and they were talking, Nixon tasked NASA with putting a base on the moon. I thought, oh, this is interesting. This could be quite interesting. And then all of a sudden, Russia put this woman on the moon, and there's no explanation for it. It's like, well, why would you do that in the 60s? What was the motivation? Because, the 60s was a different era, and I'm not saying it was right, but women were still very much treated as second-class citizens, and they were. And I'm not saying that's right, but what political gain would you have had of putting a woman on the moon in the 1960s? It doesn't make any sense. And then it just suddenly all goes all woke about NASA then having to put all these, women on the moon, and then Nixon loses interest, but Deke, the guy a real guy at NASA who was in charge of all of the astronauts and the Apollo missions, decides to put the women on there anyway, and he throws off a perfectly good pilot in order to put a woman on there who doesn't get on with the rest of the crew. And you're just watching this going, this would never have happened, ever. Because, even more so, NASA were absolutely fucking hell-bent on making sure that everybody could get along, because they were literally strapping people to a fucking bomb and sending them into space in a tin can. It was really, really important. And it again, it's trying to bend the story around this political thing, and it just doesn't work, and it absolutely ruins it. So by the 4th episode, it's just woke bullshit, and I just switched off, because you're just going, what was an interesting premise didn't work. And look, there is some historical that there was a few women that did go through some astronaut training at NASA, but it's just, again, even with Russia, the political motivation wasn't there to put the first woman on the moon. Russia would have much rather been interested about putting a military base on the moon than, bloodying America's nose about putting a woman on there. It just doesn't have any political heavy weight in the 60s.
I'll be honest with you, they'd probably be interested in putting a dog on the moon so it could then die a couple of days later before a woman.
Historically, yes. I'm not saying that this is right. I'm just saying that's what it was like.
Okay, when it comes to the right, this is what I think is the issue when it comes to Hollywood. Yeah, all the things that we get told by actors and actresses on what they think we are, what they think we're thinking in our head, yeah, is what Hollywood really thinks.
Yes.
It's their working environment, and that's how it works. Now, the racism might not be the case of it's racist. It might be a case of it's got a black lead, it won't sell as well. Yeah? That may be the case. And then when it comes with the whole women thing is just down to the following, yeah? Me Too happened. Yeah, we all know Me Too happened. And now they are over-fucking compensating badly to the point that they're hurting their bottom lines. And what's going to happen is the investors are going to step in, and the investors are going to stop them from doing this because they want money. They don't care about your politics. They want money. A few of them won't care about that. Yeah, we'll know this for a fact because they'll be quite happy to piss their cash away. But the investors at the end of the day will sit there and say, we want to make money. And they'll use Terminator, things like Terminator Dark Fate as an example. Yeah, Terminator Dark Fate was funded by 6 studios. Wow. Yeah,
I didn't know.
So it's funded like 6 studios. So you've got I think it's Tencent in fucking China. You've got Paramount. You've got Fox. Cracky, I can't remember what the other ones were, but there was like 3 other ones in there that invested, and they put all that money in there, and they've lost it. Yeah, because they wanted to play politics rather than do something entertaining. They got a franchise, and then they just mutilated the damn thing. I think that that when the bean counters start getting involved, this shit will disappear, and then we'll go back to good storytelling. I think that we're in the equivalent of the shit phase that we had in the 80s. I think it was like 84 to 89 where everything was a bit shit, but you had some really good movies. I'll be honest with you, you did have some really good movies that had to fight to be made, like Ghostbusters and Goonies. Yeah,
I agree with him. Yep.
So what will happen is we'll get a lot of shit movies, but the really good ones will work at the top, like Joker, for example. So yeah, I've got.
Joker was good.
And considering Joker at the moment. Have you heard Joker is almost over $1 billion? Well, it was when I last looked. It was about a day and a half ago. Expecting it to hit $1 billion soon, and considering the budget was less than 60 million, that is a hell of a lot of profit.
Yep.
It's one of the lowest. I can't remember the phrase, but it's profit to. It's the largest amount of profit made on a film.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get over $1 billion soon.
It's great because it proves the following: that you don't need a massive budget. It's like Deadpool. When the first Deadpool came out, that didn't have a massive budget. It had lots of special effects and shit in it, but it didn't have a massive budget in it. And I think, to be honest with you, if you go to the creators and turn around and go, right, you've got a tiny budget to do this in, they get a bit more creative. I'll be frank with you. Look at the transporters in Star Trek. Yeah, transporters in Star Trek aren't really a technological invention. They're a way of getting around the fact that we didn't have to fucking animate a shuttle landing on a planet each week. Yeah, to save money. But it turned into something fucking cool. didn't it? Well, Nigel's like, you're talking Star Trek bollocks, mate.
No idea, mate.
Yeah. Because it's like that. It's like the TARDIS. The fucking TARDIS was like kind of... they got clever with the fucking TARDIS. It was like kind of on a spaceship, but we can't... how the hell do we do this? Do we do it in orbit, this, that, and the other? It's like, no, let's put it just inside a regular police phone box, and then we just walk onto another set. That's a fucking cool idea. Because you think about it's got science. People have explained science behind that. Like little tiny pocket fucking dimensions and whatnot. So maybe they should look at these people and say, you can do your thing, but you ain't having the budget you want. But hey, maybe
Well,
if they will be arrested for improper thought after a while, and these will be played back in court as evidence of our crimes against humanity. Just like
I mean, I can't get over how every series we haven't yet got Steven Spielberg's Amazing Stories, and I remember as a kid loving that show, and Apple TV Plus is relaunching that. But based upon what I've seen so far, I'm scared it's also going to be woke, and that coming from Spielberg will hurt more.
See, this is the thing is, I think it will be. Because I think certain directors and people having their arms tied behind their back. I'll give an example. James Cameron. I think he had his arm fucking tied behind his back for the Terminator thing.
Certainly sounds like it. Certainly sounds like it. I mean, yeah, it's not good. I mean, on the other side of it is that a lot of the content on Disney Plus sounds quite good, but for whatever fucking reason, they've decided not to launch it into in the UK until next March. By the way, thanks Gab for sending me that. And it's mental because they're launching November the 12th, right? So it launches 2 days from now, from recording this podcast. The app is not available yet on any of the app stores, right? So there's no app yet to sort of download and have a look at. No exact time, except that at some point it's going to be launching on the 12th. Apple TV Plus was the same. And they're going to launch the first 5 episodes of The Mandalorian on November the 12th. And on November the 13th, it will be the most downloaded show illegally in the UK because it has to be, to avoid the spoilers. Well done, Disney. Why the fuck? I mean, you could have launched in the UK just with The Mandalorian. Nothing else on your service, right? You could have had absolutely nothing else if it was all down to rights. People would have still subbed it. What fucking moron is running it?
I don't understand the reason why they have decided that US is obviously English speaking. Why they haven't decided to roll out Disney Plus to English speaking countries, all of them, at the same time as the US, for this reason, and then maybe trial in another country like the Netherlands, because that's one of the launch countries for some reason, and as it's another language, why not test it with the Netherlands? And all English-speaking countries can use whatever they're calling it. It makes no sense. So they're going to lose a lot of revenue in the future. A lot. And it'd be of their own doing.
You're totally right. It does not make any sense. Go on.
So this is the other thing that gets me is that why have they not amalgamated all the streaming services that they own? They own like Fox streaming services, Hulu streaming services. God knows, just put it into one. And this is what I said when we started the podcast. What they really want to do is drown people in content. They want to be like Spotify of TV and movies, where you can literally, you know what? I want to watch. I think trying to think like it's Paramount. I was going to say Star Trek, fucking Wrath of Khan or something like that. and then they can go and watch it. But it's like whatever series are on these services, like kind of I want to watch one of the Avengers, I want to watch the first Iron Man film, I can watch the first time. It's all there. It's all there. And what they do is they have like a period. It comes out in the cinema, and then what they can do is they can get really clever and they turn around and say, "Hey, you know what? It's you can buy it on Blu-ray and you can watch it on Disney Plus now." Yeah. And that's it. And they can sit there and if they're clever, they can start then just taking their content, selling their content off of other platforms, and just have it all under one thing. So everything's there. So the idea is that it replaces everything. It replaces all of TV constantly. Don't think small. Think I want all 350 million people in the States to have this service. Yeah, but and then we've got the distribution thing, where it should be in all the countries. And you're right, it is. This is going to be world records for piracy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And on the bright side, I'll be able to download it really quickly.
So, but this is
I'll be able to download it like that. Sailing the high seas, I'll be able to download it like that because you idiots. I would have I would have gone for a trial because we've got Disney Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what the fuck's happening with Disney Life. Is Disney Life being folded into Disney Plus?
I don't know.
Tell me.
I would have paid.
I already have a subscription to fucking Disney.
I would have happily paid $6.99, $7.99 for a month for the next few months without any other content than The Mandalorian, and I wouldn't complain. I mean, okay, if The Mandalorian turns out to be shit, I would potentially complain. But to start with, I wouldn't complain. And I think a lot of fans of Star Wars, even now, even with The Last Jedi, even with the Rise of Skywalker on the horizon, wouldn't complain because every fucking trailer that Disney has released of The Mandalorian kind of looks all right. The latest trailer kind of looks all right.
Right. This is the thing with The Mandalorian, yeah? And I really hope they fucking do this because this would be fucking awesome. That The Mandalorian, yeah, is not Boba Fett.
No, it's not.
I don't... Right? No, because if they're looking like it's pointing towards it being Boba Fett. But here's the twist. The bad guy in the series is Boba Fett. That would work.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Because one, you get Boba Fett as the bad guy again. You don't want Boba Fett as the fucking good guy. You don't be rooting for the bastard. He throws the Han Solo in stone for all intents and purposes.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't want to be rooting for him. You want to be rooting for he's the bad guy. It would be great because you could even get the Kiwi actor who played him in the prequels. Yeah. Because he's not dead. I hope. He's alive and still kicking about and acting. Yeah, I'm sure I've seen him in stuff. I'm sure he'd love to come back and reprise the role. It'd be you'd have a level of continuity in there. You could sit there and you could make up some bullshit that the Mandalorians age slower than normal people and fight harder, something along those lines. That would be fucking awesome.
I agree.
But hey ho.
I do not understand their thinking. I think they are really dumb. And don't get me wrong. I mean, what's coming to Disney Plus? Of course, I'm a geek. Of course, I am going to sub it. Especially with they're saying that you have to watch the series on Disney Plus in order to get what's going on in the Marvel movies. Scarlet Witch series is going to have a big impact on the next Doctor Strange film, and blah 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 blah. So of course I'm going to fucking sub this thing. Why the hell can't you just launch it? I can sit here slagging off Apple TV Plus for a long time, and God, I can and would and will. But at least they launched everywhere. I mean, they literally fucking launched. I don't have to do any fucking VPNs from where I am now. It just fucking works here. Okay, the first day it didn't, or then it started working on my iPad but wouldn't work on my Mac. And it would only work on my Mac when I VPN, so I thought it was region locked on the Mac, but not on the. It was weird, but anyway, it all now does work. It's nowhere near as slick as Netflix in technology wise, but it works. But the important thing is, it fucking just launched everywhere, like 120 countries. Disney literally own fucking everything. They literally own everything. Why the fuck can't they launch? I do not get it.
Yeah.
They think they know better, and they will find out that they don't.
Maybe it's a hardware thing. Maybe it's a hardware thing.
But
The thing is, it's maybe a hardware thing, a mixture of hardware and then being really tight.
But, I mean, Gareth, they've had, 2 years they've been talking about this fucking thing? I mean, 2 years, we've known about this Star Wars series for at least 2 years, I think, and they always said that was going to be on the Disney streaming service. You can Google built, 5 fucking data centers in that time? I mean, come on. I can't help but feel there is a moron in charge. I mean, we know that Bob Iger's a bit of an idiot because, let's put a book out before The Rise of Skywalker comes out saying, oh, I pissed off George Lucas. Oh, well done there. Yeah, way to go to win the fans back, Bob. Well done. I think they've become so large and so big. They are on borderline arrogance.
See, the thing you have to understand is with the book. It's written as a management manual, and it may not be a case of he's bragging that he's done George Lucas, but he's just saying that this is stuff that I've done.
Oh yeah, no, I think it does.
It may not have worked out the way I was planning.
Yeah, it's fine, but you don't release that book before the most critical movies so far in your thing. You don't tell a load of Star Wars fans that are already pissed at you. I mean, really pissed at you. And no matter how much Mr. fucking Rian Johnson wants to deny it, it's a good sizable proportion of the fan base. You don't tell them you pissed off the creator. I mean, we might not all love George Lucas quite as much after the prequels, but he's still the creator. You don't. Okay, 3 months after Rise of Skywalker's in the cinema, yeah, sure, tell everybody. Not before. That was just one and truly dumb. But then Disney did tell people that they had just hired Dumb and Dumber after episode 3 of season 8 of Game of Thrones aired in the same week, in the middle of a shitstorm. They said, "Oh yeah, guess who's writing the next 3 Star Wars films?" Where they go, Disney? And it took them 6 months to realise the error of their ways.
Let's move on to something a bit more happy, shall we, Nigel?
Yeah.
Because Keith's gonna have an aneurysm the way he's going. So I've done something I haven't done since I moved into my first house, and that's had a games night. And what I used to do is I used to invite a load of people around my house, and we used to play games, be it on the GameCube or Nintendo Wii when that first came out. And we used to do some mad competitions and stuff. So I had a few guys over because it was like how can I put it, a test thing with the wife, see if she's okay with it. So I might be able to do it on another date. So we did that. We all came over and we started off and we played, what was the cooking game? Overcooked. Oh, dude, we were such a mess, and we were just doing bloody Gordon Ramsay things where it's like, it's fucking raw. Trying to do that.
I think
so
at one point,
was...
we were so bad. I was sat next to you, and I turned round, put both my hands either side of your face, over your ears, and went, "What are you? An idiot sandwich?" All right, maybe we should move on.
Yeah.
Try another game.
So it was fun though. We did have a laugh playing that, even though it scales difficulty. It's like a fucking almost vertical slope.
Yeah, the first couple of levels are alright. Maybe 3 levels are okay, but then it just you hit a cliff, don't you? Really, and
making burgers just couldn't make burgers.
No, not great. But
so we did that, and we played Rocket League. Fucking Rocket League's awesome. We had some great fun trying to have a competition with that. I was annoyed because we were going to go online and challenge a load of people online, but Carl, being an Xbox player, didn't have a PlayStation account, so he couldn't go online.
Yeah.
I was like, shit.
So he was guest, and it wouldn't let, obviously, guest play online because you have to pay for PSN in order to play online.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Yeah,
But still, we had a lot of fun playing amongst ourselves on Rocket League. Rocket League's always a good game.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. And then we then started moving on to a few weird ones. Well, not weird ones, but kind of more out of the kind of the normal kind of games. So we played a game called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
Yeah.
And this was great because me and Carl were being really competitive against each other, and Nigel disarmed 3 bombs, so he fucking won for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
And the idea is that one of you sits down with VR goggles, and they can see everything that's going on. And then the others have got the manual either on the screen or I had it printed out. And we try to work out what's going on. So we go, are there wires on the bomb? And Nigel would be like, there are 6 wires. It goes, how many are yellow? And then it would be like there's black one, a red one, a green one, a yellow one, a blue one, a yellow one. Cut the 4th wire. It's like, oh, phew. And then there was one where I think the first time you did it, it was like, press this button. It says detonate.
Press the detonate button.
Please.
Are you sure?
It was tap. We meant tap the button for
tap it.
It was tap it, because I did the same thing when I had my go.
Tap.
Just tap.
Just tap it. You tap.
Yeah. And we had good fun playing that one. And then we moved on to the GameCube, and we played what we started off playing with F-Zero X, F-Zero GX, and I'm not joking. Yeah. I had to stop playing after the last level because I was having what can only be described as a waking seizure, because the way it is, you're like blasting around the map at like kind of half the speed, almost the speed of sound.
Yeah, and apparently the courses, they sort of go upside down and all that. You don't really notice that you're doing that, but that's how the course is built. It's quick.
Dude, no one was any further than 2 seconds out.
No, yeah,
every race was
close.
within 2 seconds.
It's strange because like you were out in front, and I'll be up your arse, and then I'll see you crash, and I'll go ha ha, I'll go past you, and then I'll fucking crash, and then and then there's Gav always taking up the rear. Gav taking up the rear.
Poor Gav was half asleep.
He was, bless him.
He was knackered. He had a busy week, and he was fucking shattered. I had to give him a cup of coffee halfway through the evening to keep him going.
And do you know what? This morning, obviously, you were still asleep. He said, "Yeah, that coffee, Gav, worked a treat." After we'd gone to bed, I was a fucking wake. It was like, it took a bit of time to kick in, and then it kicked in, and then he was awake trying to get to sleep. But anyway, what was that game called? I can't remember. The racing game.
That was F-Zero X, and then we played.
Yeah,
what was
decent.
it? Mario Striker.
Yeah,
which I think may be the forgotten gem of football games.
I'd never played that before, and I loved it. I do like a football game here and there, and me and Carl teamed up against you and Gav. Was it the Mushroom People and Waluigi against the Turtles and somebody else? Koopas.
Yeah, the Koopa Troopers and Yoshi,
yeah. And me and Carl quickly figured out that there are no such things as fouls in this game. And so whenever we wanted to tackle, we'd just knock you into the wall and electrocute you.
Yeah, you basically beat the shit out of our team. And then I explained, this is why the Mushroom Kingdom is at war with the fucking Koopa Kingdom, because of this football game. Yeah.
It was such fun.
It was, but
I've never had so much fun playing a football game.
Yeah. Carl wouldn't give me the manual because it was like, I can't remember how to play this, so I was going to pull the manual out just to do it, and then I was let you guys read it, or yell at you guys, or yell at Gav what buttons to press. But
I was just pushing. I was figuring it out as I go. Like, so I never had a GameCube growing up, and never really played on one. So buttons were in different places to what I'm used to. The massive A button in the middle, and then shoot was next to it. I only figured out shoot because I thought, oh, it's got to be the red one, right? Oh, it's shot. Fucking good save though.
Yeah.
It was really, really good fun, especially when you're playing against other people. I think if you're playing against the computer or the AI, it wouldn't be as fun. Definitely not.
No.
But playing against other people, a lot more fun.
But yeah, it's a really good game. If you ever get to play Mario Mario Striker, on the GameCube, it is really, really good. What was that? We played Smash Brothers.
Yeah, don't get it.
I love Smash Brothers. I think it's a great game.
Yeah, no, none of us got it because I played a game and I kicked the shit out of everyone, and I didn't win.
It's made up lots of mini games, and then it's the board game, isn't it? Isn't that what Super Smash Brothers?
No, that's Mario Party.
It's Mario
Party.
Super Smash Brothers Melee, I think was the one we were playing. Was it Melee?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Melee or whatever.
Whatever the GameCube one was.
You got four characters, 4 players, in the game, and you're in this it's like platform, 3 levels of platform that you can jump between, and I think there's edges to the platform, and you just hit each other until somebody flies off the edge, and when someone flies off the edge, you get a minus point, and the person gets a plus point, and then at the end, it doesn't matter what you've done, somebody's won somehow, which we couldn't figure out.
No idea.
Was this after how much alcohol?
No, just
didn't have
a
that
couple
much
of beers.
alcohol.
What?
I had like 2 beers for the entire evening.
What?
Yeah, that's it.
No secret bottles of vodka in the freezer. What's happening? I've got to fly back to the UK and sort your fucking games night out, mate. I mean,
Instead, it was Desperado, mate.
No.
Yeah.
When I had these sort of like nights before, there was always a bottle of at least Smirnoff Red in the fucking freezer. Usually Smirnoff Blue. You can't fucking function without that shit. Games night's always more interesting when you're drunk.
And to be fair, it was a lot of fun even without it.
Yeah, I know.
It was fun without it.
Nothing really compares to if you enjoy playing games. You jump online and you play with your mates, and they're sitting in their front room, you're sitting in your front room, and your other mate is sitting fucking across the country in their front room, and Keith joins in from fucking Thailand, and you're having a little chat over online through your party, and you're playing together. That's great. However, it doesn't compare to sitting in the same room, split screen 4 ways, and fucking racing each other or playing Mario soccer thing, and when you score, fucking standing up and pointing at their face. Then nothing really compares to that, in my opinion. And then I can only think of Rocket League as a recent modern day game that has got the 4-player. There's probably others, but the 4-player split screen that gives you that sort of game. And again, it's sort of roughly based on football, isn't it? And driving cars, 2 fucking great things, which I love the fact they put them together. And the fact that we were playing it and had a lot of fun of Rocket League, as much fun as we had with the Mario football.
Yeah,
it's great. Sitting in the same room together, it's definitely worth it. If anyone listening to this podcast has the opportunity, it definitely is worthwhile maybe digging out one of your old consoles, if you've got one, and finding a 4-player game or 2-player, whatever. Play together in the same room. It is different, and it is better.
We played at your house, didn't we? We played a party game at your house, which was quite good, when you had a barbecue last year. What was it that we were playing?
That's you.
Was that
with the phones?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it's called That's You.
That was really good.
2 copies of it. That was really good. We never played that. I downloaded that just in case we wanted to.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. That's You.
We'll finish.
Just for anyone listening, just so I can wrap up. That's You is a PlayStation game which uses PlayLink, and you download an app onto your mobile phone, whether it's Android or iPhone, and you then link. You turn the game on. You turn the app on, and then you find through the app the PlayStation for your Wi-Fi, and then it links, and then you can use your phone as a device to answer and do things, and it interacts with the game on the PlayStation. And I think many people can play it, between 1 and I think is it 6, 7 people, something like that. But a load of you can play it in
8,
the same room.
I think it's 8.
Possibly, yeah. And there's a number of games that are like that as well.
Yeah.
It's not just
that's
you,
one.
but it's good. It's good the way they're doing that. It's sort of taking the heed from the Wii. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Keith, you got anything left?
No, not this week, really. No, I can save up for next week, really.
All right. So, let me just mention one thing about our game tonight, and this will put a smile on your face, Keith. We were playing Mario Superstar Soccer, and me and Gav lost the first 2 games, but we won the 3rd game. Then I decided we quit playing and declared victory overall.
He did, and I stood up and went, "No, you are not Keith.
Welcome to the gang, Gareth.
Take that back."
And the look on Nigel's face, it's worth it, isn't it?
Yes.
Because it winds him up
when I said,
more than it winds you up.
The thing was,
so when I said that,
both
it
Gav
was like, and Gav was like, "What was the fucking game that you and Keith were playing?" And Nigel's like, "Mortal Kombat."
Every game. Every game.
every game, it doesn't matter. Keith could lose 52 times on the trot, win 1, and declare himself overall winner forevermore because no more games will be played.
So yes.
Oh, dude, it's a good strategy, Nigel. It's a good strategy.
Well, I have to say, I haven't had to employ that strategy, Keith.
Just wait.
And on that note, I think it's time we say goodbye, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
You'll hear us in the next podcast.
Goodbye. At least I'm happy this week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for downloading the Monkey Nut Punch podcast. You can follow us on Twitter @Monkey Nut Punch. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Monkey Nut Punch.